Chair squats. From couch-bound to confident strides, Harold's story. So, if walking alone isn't the answer, what is? Our first revelation might surprise you with its simplicity, yet its power is profound. Harold, 79, confessed, "The couch felt like quicksand. Getting up was a monumental effort I started to dread." His world was shrinking, one unrisen moment at a time. His daughter didn't bring a fancy machine or a complex routine. She showed him chair squats. Imagine his initial skepticism. This simple movement, something children do without a thought, was supposed to combat years of encroaching frailty? His first attempts were likely marked by a wobble, perhaps a grunt of effort as long dormant muscles protested. He started small, just a few repetitions, feeling the unfamiliar burn in his thighs and glutes. But Harold persisted. The daily practice, the gradual increase in ease, began to weave its magic. Days turned into 2 weeks. The trembling in his legs, a constant reminder of his instability, began to subside. Then, one afternoon, a quiet moment of victory unfolded. Harold stood from his couch, not with a groan of exertion, but with a quiet sense of triumph. He walked across the room, his steps surer than they'd been in years. This simple up-and-down motion, mimicking the everyday act of sitting and standing, was rebuilding his functional lower body strength, targeting those crucial thighs, glutes, and hips essential for both stable walking and balance. He wasn't just standing. He was reclaiming his life, one squat at a time, pushing back against the threat of fall prevention becoming a daily fear. This newfound mobility reduced his dependence on walkers or railings. The beauty of chair squats lies in their adaptability. Harold, for instance, initially started holding onto a counter for support, but soon he didn't need it. Others with more limited strength can begin with partial squats, only going down as far as comfortable. The key, as he learned, isn't speed, but control, lowering gently, pushing back up with focus. Done daily, this movement can significantly prevent falls, strengthen knees, and even reduce joint stiffness. Harold conquered the couch, a testament to the power of chair squats. But what about those everyday tasks that require upper body strength, the ones we often ignore until it's too late? Wall push-ups, Brenda's surprising discovery of everyday power. Harold found his legs again. But true independence requires more. What about the strength to open a jar or push open a heavy door? Our next exercise tackles just that, using nothing but a wall. Arm strength? "I'm not lifting anything heavy," Brenda, 74, declared, dismissing the idea entirely. She couldn't yet see the insidious ways her weakening upper body was limiting her, the subtle daily struggles mounting. It was the stuck jar lid that refused to budge, the public door that felt heavier each day, forcing her to use her shoulder instead of her arm. These were small erosions of her capability. Then, she reluctantly tried wall push-ups, likely thinking them too easy, too insignificant to truly matter. Her initial leans against the wall might have felt awkward, a far cry from the strenuous exercises she imagined were necessary. But there was no floor work involved, no strain on her wrists or back, just a simple, controlled press against a solid surface. She began incorporating them into her routine, just 10 to 15 repetitions at a time. It was a small commitment. A month passed. One morning, Brenda reached for a stubborn pickle jar. Her hand closed around the lid. She gave it a twist, and it opened with surprising ease. Later that day, pushing open the heavy door at the library felt effortless. She even noticed she felt steadier when walking, a subtle but significant improvement. "It's like everything got easier," she exclaimed to her daughter, a newfound power resonating in her voice. This simple, joint-friendly exercise, the wall push-up, was awakening her upper body strength. Her chest, shoulders, arms, and even her core were engaging, fighting back against the stoop of age and improving her senior posture. This underrated movement helps maintain the muscles needed for carrying groceries or even catching oneself during a moment of imbalance. For those who find traditional push-ups impossible, wall push-ups offer a perfect, low-risk, high-reward entry point. The beauty is its adaptability. Once the wall feels too easy, some progress to using countertops or sturdy tables as an intermediate step. Each press away from the wall wasn't just building muscle, it was building self-trust. Brenda regained her upper body confidence with a simple wall. But what if pain or fear keeps you firmly seated? Is there hope for strength even then? Seated leg raises. Frank's quiet revolution from his own chair. Brenda pushed back against her limits. But for many, even standing exercises can be a challenge. What if your main source of movement is a chair? The next secret weapon proves strength can be built without ever taking a step. Exercise? At 82, after years of nothing, I thought it meant getting on the floor or long walks outside, things I just couldn't do, Frank confessed, his voice heavy with resignation. His life had become largely sedentary. Aches were a constant companion, and the fear of injury loomed large, preventing him from even attempting much movement. Then he learned about seated leg raises. The concept was so simple, so unassuming, that he almost dismissed them. His first try was just as straightforward. Sitting tall in his firm armchair, he slowly lifted one leg, held it for a second or two, then lowered it with control. There was no jumping, no sweating, no complex choreography, just movement. He committed to doing them every morning before breakfast, a quiet ritual to start his day. Initially, he felt a faint pull in his thighs, a forgotten sensation in muscles that had long been unchallenged. This was the beginning of his quiet revolution. 2 weeks later, Frank noticed it. Standing up from the couch, an action that had become a significant struggle, felt less arduous. His knees, which often ached during his short walks, were more forgiving. It was a small, quiet victory, born from the persistence of performing these simple chair exercises. He was fighting stiffness and the consequences of poor senior circulation with each gentle lift. This intentional movement targets the hip flexors, thighs, and the often neglected muscles around the knees, promoting better blood flow. This is crucial, as circulation can slow with age, leading to swelling, heaviness, and an increased risk of complications like blood clots or varicose veins. The real power of seated leg raises lies in consistency, and for those looking to progress, adding light ankle weights or holding the leg up for longer can introduce resistance, safely and on one's own terms. Frank discovered that his chair could be a place of power, not confinement. But what if you crave movement that feels less like exercise and more like liberation? What if water could wash away your aches and lift your spirits? Water aerobics. Linda's rebirth in the healing embrace of water. Frank found strength in stillness. But what if your joints cry out for something even gentler, something that makes you feel light and free? It's time to step into the magic of water. Arthritis in both knees. I hadn't exercised in years. The pain just made everything a battle. Linda, 76, shared, her face etched with the memory of constant discomfort that had stolen her mobility. Her hesitation to try anything new was palpable. Her fear of making the relentless joint pain worse a heavy cloak. Her daughter, however, finally coaxed her into a water aerobics class. Linda stepped into the pool, bracing herself, expecting the usual struggle, the familiar twinges of agony. Then something truly magical happened. As the water enveloped her, suddenly, the weight seemed to lift from her aching joints. Movements that were sheer agony on land became smooth, almost effortless. The natural buoyancy of the water held her, supported her body in a way she hadn't felt in decades. She began to participate more, a tentative smile replacing the grimace of pain. The water wasn't just gentle. Its resistance was working her muscles in ways she hadn't imagined, offering a full-body workout without the harsh impact. Every lift, every stretch, every little movement became a source of empowerment, not pain. I felt like I had my old body back, Linda exclaimed after just a month. The results were astonishing. Her arthritis pain levels plummeted, her energy soared, and even her balance on land noticeably improved. The water was her therapist, her trainer, her fountain of youth, offering not just physical arthritis relief, but also significant benefits for senior aquatic therapy. This low-impact exercise for seniors is therapeutic for conditions like high blood pressure and aids in surgery recovery, supporting circulation and reducing swelling. And there's no need to be a swimmer. Most classes are held in waist-to-chest height water, and you can use a flotation belt or simply hold onto the side. Beyond the physical, the laughter and connection in a group class brought a renewed sense of purpose. Linda found physical and emotional healing in the water. But what if the ultimate key to balance and calm lies not in dynamic movement, but in a dance so slow it feels like meditation? Tai Chi, Walter's journey to walking like the floor belongs to him. Linda danced in the water and found relief. But there's another ancient practice, a whisper-soft movement that promises not just physical balance, but a profound inner calm. Are you ready to explore the art of moving meditation? I used to walk like I was afraid of the floor, Walter, 80, admitted, his words painting a picture of hesitant steps and constant worry about his senior balance. Each footfall was tentative, a negotiation with gravity he often felt he was losing. Then, he stumbled upon Tai Chi, a centuries-old practice he initially dismissed as just slow, weird dancing. His first impressions were of movements that seemed too gentle, too deliberate to be effective, coupled with an unfamiliar emphasis on breath. What Walter didn't realize at first was that he wasn't just retraining his body. This mind-body exercise was subtly rewiring his mind. He began his practice, perhaps in a quiet corner of a park or in a community class. Lifting an arm, shifting his weight from one foot to the other, slowly turning his body like water flowing in a stream. There was no pressure to perform, no competition, no mirrors reflecting his efforts, just him, his breath, and the gentle exercise. Gradually, subtle shifts began to occur. The chronic fear of falling, a shadow that had dogged his steps, began to recede. In its place grew a quiet awareness of his body in space, a newfound sense of his own equilibrium. The climax of this internal journey manifested in a profound external change. Now, Walter declared, a confident gleam in his eyes, I walk like the floor belongs to me. The transformation was undeniable, an inner shift that radiated outward. This gentle, fluid practice, blending deep breathing with deliberate movements, trains both body and mind, significantly reducing fall risk by improving coordination and retraining the nervous system to respond more confidently and quickly. It improves flexibility, eases joint stiffness, and calms the mind. Many who suffer from anxiety, insomnia, or even high blood pressure have found that regular Tai Chi helps them rest better and worry less. It's adaptable too. It can be practiced standing or even seated if necessary, making it accessible to nearly everyone. It was more than just physical therapy for Walter. It was mental nourishment, fostering an inner calm and acute body awareness. Walter found his grounding, a deep connection to himself. These 5 paths all lead away from the limitations of aging. The question is, which path will you choose to begin your own transformation? Your first step to a stronger you. It's simpler than you think. Walter's journey, like Harold's, Brenda's, Frank's, and Linda's, shows us that age is not a sentence to decline. These 5 exercises offer distinct pathways to renewed vitality. Now, the most important step is yours to take. The image of aging gracefully often comes with a soundtrack of limitations, a quiet acceptance of diminishing abilities. But what if you held the conductor's baton to a symphony of renewed strength and confidence? Walking is a good start, a valuable part of active aging, but as we've seen through Harold's triumphant rise from his couch, Brenda's newfound power against a simple wall, Frank's quiet revolution from his very own chair, Linda's joyful, pain-free dance in the water, and Walter's grounded, confident stride, true, lasting independence and senior wellness over 60 demands more. These 5 exercises, chair squats, wall push-ups, seated leg raises, water aerobics, and Tai Chi aren't just safer alternatives for aging joints. They're smarter choices for long-term health, targeting areas and benefits that walking alone can't fully support. They build strength, enhance stability, and foster overall well-being. The most powerful transformation, the kind that genuinely changes lives, doesn't begin with a grand, sweeping plan that feels overwhelming. It starts with a single, decisive action, an exercise motivation that translates into movement. Lasting change begins with small, steady steps. Which story resonated with you? Which movement sparked a flicker of, I can do that, in your gut? Choose one. Just one. Not tomorrow, but today. Your body isn't waiting for perfection. It's waiting for empowerment, for you to show up for it, one simple, kind motion at a time. What will your first step be towards reclaiming the strong, stable, and vibrant life you truly deserve?